Welcome to Inside Your County Government. I'm your host and community engagement coordinator, Doria Fleischer. This is another episode of Meet the Departments, a chance for you, our community, to get to know the wonderful people who lead the county government departments that keep our community operating on a day-to-day basis. Whether you are learning about them again and just getting some new information, or if you're new to this and want to learn how county government operates, this is a great chance for you to get more engaged with what we do and how we do it. And joining us today is Kelli Beavers, the director of our Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Department. Kelli, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Doria. Glad to be here.
Thanks. And Kelli, can you start by just telling us a little bit about you, just kind of your origin story of your why? How did you get to be the director of Recs, Parks, and Tourism?
Something? That's a question because people will ask me, well, what's your degree in? Well, my degree is in microbiology.
I didn't know that, Kelli.
Know. So,
wow, you should lead with that always.
Maybe or maybe not. But my goal was to be a pediatrician because I loved young people. And so I thought, oh, that'll be a nice career. I'll, have a decent life and I get to work with young people and help them. And then, halfway through college, I discovered I just didn't love the medical part.
It's a lot of science.
Yeah, but I love the kids. I started as a camp counselor at a YMCA back in my hometown of Kansas City, Missouri, and best summer job ever. Loved it. I was early every day, stayed late every day. I was pretty much hooked at that point. And so when I was finishing college right here in Washington, D.C., at Howard University, I needed a summer job. And I said, I'm going to go find a YMCA and apply to be a counselor and literally never look back.
Yeah, there is something about camp that life is different than anything else, and it just becomes a part of you. So,
yes.
Well, I'm thrilled you stayed in the area, and our camp is one of the things you're doing here, so that's perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us about, please, what, your name is pretty self-explanatory, Recreation, Parks, and Tourism, but tell us about those three divisions, please, and what you do and how you do it.
Well, sure thing. This department is interesting and unique. Not every Parks and Recreation agency has tourism as a primary function, although they practice it anyway. Right. But our department, our job is to make sure that there are a lot of things for people to do in their free time. And so that goes across the gamut. In our recreation division, we operate several facilities, community centers. Most of those are shared with Charles County Public Schools, and they open after school and they'll go until night. We have aquatic sites that we operate in conjunction with the schools as well. 3 indoor, 3 outdoor that we operate. And then we do have a few standalone community centers that we have in the county. We have a gymnastics facility. We have tons of parks in the county. Almost any sport you want to play, you can play it in the county. There's golf course, there's bocce ball, there's basketball, there's football, there's soccer, there's lacrosse.
You have to say pickleball, Kelli. People are waiting to hear it.
Pickleball. But, if you say pickleball, then it might start a whole other discussion.
It's a whole different conversation.
But
right?
It is the fastest growing sport in the United States. I was introduced to it back in 2000 in Arlington, Virginia.
Gotcha.
And who knew that it would become this? We're at a point now where we put in a new basketball court or a tennis court. We're looking to say, should this be a dual court? Should we put multiple lines on it so that people can play different sports at different times of the day?
I love that flexibility.
Where 5 years ago, there wasn't really a big conversation, but now people are asking for it. And so we're trying to meet the demand. And then the other awesome part of our job is we work to attract people to this county. Tourism is a huge part of the economic engine that keeps any jurisdiction going, any city, municipality, county. You want to have people come, stay in your hotels, visit your restaurants, your local vendors and businesses. Most of the attractions that we have here in Charles County, we actually provide those opportunities through the department. And so it's fantastic to have it in-house to marketplaces like Mallows Bay, the only national marine sanctuary in the state of Maryland, to be able to market White Plains, an 18-hole golf course. And so those are the types of things that we're trying to do in the county, is put more and more amenities to get people to come, because this is what helps to stabilize the tax base in the county. if we can continue to generate more and more revenue, it will be really ideal. But our job is to make sure you and anyone else that lives in this county or visits this county has something to do in their free time. And so there are things that happen in the day, in the evening, on the weekends, and we do events on the holidays as well. And so that's really what we're charged with, is helping you have a better quality of life.
I love it. And you mentioned Mallows Bay and White Plains. So the parks aspect falls under you also, which is kind of unique too, because that includes making sure the parks look good. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And so in addition to the parks, we have about almost 4,200 acres of land. Some developed, some undeveloped, but we also maintain a few hundred active acres just for county use, not for parks. And so whether it's the county buildings or places where staff work or things are stored, we help to maintain those grounds as well. So cutting the grass, picking up the trash, landscaping, you name it, we're a part of it. And we have other county government partners that we work with in conjunction to do it. So it's really a team effort, and it works very well.
That's awesome. Well, I always love going to the parks. I love seeing people out and about. It makes me happy. So thank you for making that possible for us.
Makes me happy too.
All right. So I know you have a lot of exciting stuff coming up, and I know new parks is one of those. Talk to us about what's the most new and exciting stuff in recreation parks and tourism. So what does our community have to look forward to?
Well, I have to start with what has happened this year already. Okay. Charles County Public Schools has had some synthetic turf fields for a while. But the county government, we just opened our first two. We opened one at White Plains, and we opened White Plains Regional Park, and we opened the other at Laurel Springs Regional Park. So that was really exciting. The kids in the community, all the sports groups, youth sports organizations were super excited. Our commissioners, they were out there. They were excited. That was a fun time because people have been waiting a long time for turf fields.
Yeah.
And to be able to use them outside of, and schools has a lot of time already that they offer, but to be able to use them outside of the school designated time, that expands playtime for young people and adults, which means they're doing more positive things that are healthy for them too in their free time. And so that's been fantastic. And sticking with that, we opened a basketball court last year at Bennsville Park. But this year, when we went to look at which park do we want to add the next basketball court to, we did something a little different. We did this poll online for the community to say, hey, what do you all want to see? We looked at what we could do in the most efficient manner. And so we gave them just a couple of choices. Overwhelming, like 87% voted for White Plains Regional Park. Wow. So that will be the next basketball. Actually, not courts. It'll be a double set of courts. Lights, bleachers, seating, so you can come out there and run tournaments. And we may throw a couple extra features in there. I won't talk about that right now.
We'll have to save that one. That's
yes. And then come out on site. Come see it, come to the opening. We try to make it fun when we do things and try to make a big splash, because what I have learned is we haven't had as much development to match the growth in the county.
Okay.
And so we're trying to address that and push projects and look for additional resources. Right. That's a little bit of a challenge because you don't really want to I don't want to disturb the tax base. And I am looking for other ways outside of residents to pay for and subsidize program services, facilities that we need. But that's been great. And as well, we worked on 2 new master plans and a conceptual plan. Let me start with what I'm most excited about. The conceptual plan for Waldorf Park, heavily focused on sports. However, lots of things for folks to do. So this last fall, matter of fact, I think it was 22, sometime in the previous year. I'm sorry.
No, it feels like time is flying, doesn't it?
I know. So in 22, we launched a process, and I said, we need the community involved. And we put a call out and say, hey, are there any community members that would like to help us figure out what you want, how you want it, and all of the questions that we continuously ask. And we had like 100 people say, yeah, we would love to be on this task force with you. We want to be side by side. And so we pulled maybe about 40% of those people, and they went on a nice ride with us. And we have a wonderful conceptual design for Waldorf Park. We don't have all the funding we need. We do have some seed money, but I think it'll be exciting. We plan to have multiple turf fields, not just one turf field. We plan to have wonderful play areas, pickleball, basketball, dog park, comfort stations, walking trail. And this is going to be probably the first new park in over a decade in the county, which is more than needed. And it's in Waldorf, which is where really the bulk of the population lives in this county. And so trying to really meet the needs of a growing population starts with making plans.
Right.
Those plans start with engaging the people who are paying for them and that will use them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for that park to come.
I'm excited for that park. And we also worked on some plans for a La Plata Farm Park. Whenever that day comes, that we hope it to have an agricultural theme to really honor the roots of this county. In addition, we are we have the master plan for Pope's Creek, which was a very popular destination.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Pier, I believe it was, a very fun place that provided entertainment and other things. And we do plan to still provide some level of entertainment. That project's a little bit down the road. But what we're really looking for is to preserve the environment and the shoreline there, but provide lots of access to the water.
Yeah.
It will be our publicly owned beach, and so we're looking forward to that. So we want to maximize that, but we also have to take care of the natural landscape here in the county because it is one of our greatest assets. It's great to visit places like DC, but there's a lot of concrete, a lot of asphalt, and not very much of the greenery that you see in a place like this. And I know that's why people come and live here.
Yeah, our water is such an important part. So the fact that we'll have a waterfront park that showcases that is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a lot of exciting stuff.
Oh, so much stuff. We're working on feasibility study. Well, we're going to do requests for proposals for feasibility studies for a multi-generational facility, which this county very much needs to add an additional aquatic element that we would have solely to ourselves in county government to serve our residents. We will have hours that will serve the community from morning till evening versus we can get in the pools in the afternoon right now.
Just diversifies what we've got in the county for who. That's wonderful.
Does.
Good.
It does. We're looking at things for the western side over in Bryans Road, Waldorf. Oh my gosh, a Waldorf Urban Park and Amphitheater. There's a feasibility study in for. And so right now we're really just trying to get the resources to be able to move all these projects forward. But there hadn't been a lot of activity in a long time. So we're kind of in a rebuilding phase right now. And we've gotten some additional resources to help with that.
Good.
But looking for the rest of them.
Okay.
So we can fully get started. And I don't want this train to stop until we're done.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a lot on your plate right now.
Oh, there's tons to do.
Nobody's getting bored in RPT.
No. If they are, then they should come see me.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you guys are working hard.
The team is really amazing. So I know I've been here about a year and a half, and things have picked up, but the staff. I know you didn't ask me this.
No, please. You never have to pause before bragging about the people who work so hard for our community.
I have is amazing, Doria. They are up for serving the residents in this county no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Is there a water leak? Yes, we'll fix it. Is there grass needs to be cut? Yes. We need to support and provide an event for this. Yes, we're there. Yes, Kelly, we'll give you the history of all of this. They have been amazing. And the spirit and the attitude of the whole reason Recreation Parks and Tourism is successful is because it's a dedicated group of people who really enjoy serving people.
Right.
This is not an industry you enter if you don't really enjoy serving.
No, and serving humans, real live community members. Yeah, totally. These are
in a
to keep
genuine, consistent manner.
Good.
Yeah, so I feel like I have this whole team of superhuman professionals that are willing to do what it takes to make sure other people enjoy their lives. And like I said, that's a unique thing. Not everyone wants to do that.
Right. Well, I'm thrilled your team is doing that.
And I have a whole team that enjoys it, just like I do.
Well, we're thrilled to have you doing it. We're thrilled to have your team doing it.
Thank
All right. So a lot on your plate. What are the things that are a struggle? What are the things that are a challenge? What are the things that keep you up at night? What are you battling right now?
So much. I tell you what keeps me up at night is how do we, and I've said this a couple of times because this is extremely important. How do we match the level of service with the level of growth?
Right.
And so it looks like even before there was a growth spurt, there was probably a need for a little bit more in the county. But the growth has been happening, and I welcome it because I think it's important for communities to grow and evolve just as much as it is for us as individuals to grow and evolve. But that's been a challenge because you have to have the infrastructure and the resources to do that. Naming really the facilities in order to do it. Playgrounds have to be replaced at some point.
Yeah.
People love Laurel Springs Playground, and it's in decent shape. But guess what? It's time for a new one.
Yeah.
And so we have to figure out how to pay for that and how to get a new one. And I listed several studies and plans we have. You need planning team to do that.
Right.
We're working on building it, but we're not quite there. And so I want to be able to get a charge and say, hey, here's a new capital project that we want you to build, renovate, whatever it is, and say, hey, here's the resources to do it, and we can just move forward. But even in that, let's continue with staffing, is since COVID, hiring has been a challenge. Getting people in, getting them to apply, and then getting them to stay.
Right.
I hear that's everywhere, though. And so that's going to be a challenge. I think people have changed. People reevaluated their priorities.
Right.
So hiring qualified full-time and part-time staff, sometimes you can go through a whole round and you have to start over because either you didn't find what's needed to do the job well, or people said, hey, you know what? My life has changed. I decided to do something else. But
Right.
I've heard that from my fellow directors across the state for the last 2 years. So this is not unique to Charles County.
But it's a struggle and a challenge.
But it's a challenge. And I'm sure it's not just recreation, parks, and tourism.
No. Although I do think I know we were laughing earlier, recreation is something that's so near and dear to my heart. And I do sometimes think that with jobs like recreation, if you're holding on to somebody for way too long, it's a sign that they should, like, part of this is a growth job. And you said it beautifully. I'm not sure if I'll be able to repeat how you did it, but that your staff for recreation, they're not just there to help others have fun. They're also learning the life skills. They're also learning how to lead and develop. And it becomes so yeah, it's sometimes tough to hold on to people for too long because they are getting to bigger and better things.
It is
naturally.
It is for sure. No, I would agree with you. I tell you one of the other things, and that's been somewhat of a challenge, is where most of the growth has happened in the county has been in the Waldorf area, identifying properties to be able. Yes, that has been a bit of a challenge. But one of the things that, for me, that I'm excited about, and I don't know that the average resident would be excited, but I tell you what, that resident would be excited for their children and their grandchildren, is putting a long-term plan in place to identify what will be needed in the future so that I can give the Charles County Board of Commissioners real information around what's going to be needed 20 and 30 years from now, so that they can really help support and work towards that.
Yeah.
If I don't provide that information and data for them, how can they plan for the future?
Right.
And so we hope next year, next year, we hope to really embark upon what's called a functional master plan. It's the equivalent of a comprehensive plan, but for recreation, parks, and tourism.
That makes sense.
And so we plan to engage the community and try to get some solid feedback from them on what do you want your community to look like in terms of quality of life in the next 20, 25, 30 years? What is it you would like to see you do with your grandchildren or the children that live in your neighborhood? What would you like to have adjacent to your home? And as we work to bring in new developments, new businesses or housing developments to the county, we have the opportunity to say that these are the standards that we have in the county, and this is the level of service, and this is how you get to support our residents in enjoying their free time.
I love it. And I'm laughing at just all the the aspects of your job right now where it's, I've got to figure out what we currently have and how we're going to improve that. I got to figure out what we're going to need later and get that done. I also have to figure out what's not working right now and get that. It's
Absolutely.
You're got a lot of different pots cooking great
We
recipes
do.
in the kitchen.
We
so.
do. We do. It's a lot of, it's what, 170,000 people almost in the county.
Right.
And everyone is unique and everyone matters. And so
Yes.
no one wants to do the same thing all the time every day. And so, like I said, we have to evolve and grow individually, collectively. And that means my charge is to lead a department that can do that and adapt. There are other things. There's smaller things like, enhancing our training program, looking at replacement of amenities that have been there for a minute, working on improving accessibility. But we made great strides. Last year, the board approved our first ever therapeutic recreation and inclusion position.
Yep.
Accessibility is a big deal, and we could definitely do a better job. And so we are working towards that. So we've hired a specialist to be able to help lead the way. Now, of course, yes, it's not one person. We'll need more in the future, but you got to start somewhere. And one person can do a lot. And so we're looking forward to that with the one that we hired.
I think just identifying the need for that one person is a big step for our county. And special shout out that your sensory support room at Elite Gymnastics is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I hope our community members will check it out. You guys did a lovely job with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
For our community members that want to be involved more in recreation, parks, and tourism, where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do? How do you want them to know what's going on? How can they be involved with you?
Oh gosh, we actually have quite a few ways that you can learn about us. Number one, we have a website. Actually, we have two websites. We have Charles County Parks and we have Explore Charles County. And so Charles County Parks has all of our recreation and parks information. So if you want to know where to go, what's coming up, there's a calendar, any information. If you need financial assistance, we have a Rec Assist program. You can find that on there.
Okay.
You can register for classes. You can reserve pavilions. We are working to move everything that we do online.
Okay.
And then we have Explore Charles County. So when you're looking for some other things to do, what restaurants where can I stay? Who are the small businesses? Who are the big businesses? Where's the ag community? Like we want to support all of that. So you can go to the websites. Those same web names are our social media handles on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Explore Charles County's on Pinterest. We're on LinkedIn. Almost any of the big ones, you can find us on social media. But we also have a guide that we produce every quarter. And you can find all of the classes, programs, events that we're providing. They're in that book. We have a newsletter that goes out. You can sign up on the website, charlescountyparks.com, and you can sign up and it's emailed. I sign up so I get them.
I was going to say, I look forward to it. I want to know what's going on.
Yes.
And sometimes if I miss it professionally, then at least I know about it personally.
Absolutely. And Charles County government in general does a great job of getting weekly news out and letting people know what's happening. And so you can sign up for the county's email.
Thank you for that plug.
Yeah. It was like not even on purpose, but they feature recreation, parks, and tourism all the time. And so there's never really a challenge with it. And something new that we have coming that will advertise itself is this big recreation mobile vehicle. It's basically a rec center on wheels. I don't know if I can officially reveal the name or not. My staff will correct me when I get back. If not, it's called Rec Express. And it's outfitted with all like the latest and greatest rec activities. If you want sports, if you want arts, there'll be a little bit of technology on there. It'll be fun things to do. So you might be at the park, be at a school, a playground. We're just going to roll up on you.
I love it.
Open the doors and let's play. Let's have some fun together, but it's going to be wrapped. So you'll see that big seal on there. You'll see the Recreation Parks and Tourism logo on there, fun messages and images. You might just see us, learn about us walking down the street.
I love that it makes it accessible. That's great.
Oh, absolutely. And I have to share this with you.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to learn about us is when our customers say, oh, I learned about my neighbor told me about you. Word of mouth still can't be beat. And so anyone that enjoys anything, recreation, parks, and tourism, tell someone. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Post us on your social media with one of our links, forward it, whatever the case may be, send a text out, because most of the time that's how people will learn about what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's a trusted referral. That
Yes.
I don't have to sell it to my neighbor. I
That's
just
right.
have to talk about it.
That's right. And that helps us with retention.
Yeah.
So you get new customers. If you help us get them, we're going to try our best to keep you.
I love it. Kelli, thank you so much for being here today. It's a lot of exciting stuff going on for recreation parks and tourism.
It is. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
This was fun.
Kelli Beavers, our Director of Recreation Parks and Tourism for Charles County Government. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope that this gave you a great insight into the work that we're doing to keep people having fun in Charles County. Take care, stay safe, stay engaged. For more information on Charles County Government, visit our website, www.charlescountymd.gov. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to the county's e-news. You can also get many alerts through the citizen notification system. Don't forget to watch CCG TV on Comcast Channel 95 or Verizon Fios 10. We're also streaming on Apple TV and Roku devices. Just search Charles County Government. You can get all of our great podcast content wherever you get your podcasts by searching Charles County Government. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.